Welcome to Eyes on EB, Voices of EB, where community meets conversation. And today we are so fortunate to be at Playhouse 22 with Adam Neary, the vice president here. And we're going to connect and talk about what is on the horizon for Playhouse 22, how Adam came to be here in Playhouse 22, and how Playhouse 22 began its own journey. So come on along with us. Hello, Adam. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you so much for inviting us here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Welcome to our home.
Thank you. Yeah. So your home, Playhouse 22. Why don't we start with how Playhouse 22 came to be?
Well, our real name is East Brunswick Community Players.
Right.
We were formed in about 1958.
Okay.
Our grandfathers were Elliot Taubenslag and Joe Vasta and Mel Boyd and a whole bunch of people that are part of our legacy. And then after 22 years, in about 1980, the community players partnered up with the township to create the first Playhouse 22, which was located at 210 Dunham's Corner Road, across from Young Israel.
Next to the firehouse.
Yeah, next to the firehouse and the old Y, and old timers in town know all that at the Grange.
Yes.
And we, it was a mix of an old schoolhouse and a public works garage that was put together and created a nice little quaint space.
Great. At that time, how many people could fit in that space, would you say?
154.
Okay.
154 seats. Okay. I can't tell you what I had at lunch today, but I can remember that number.
Right. Well, of course, there's that little bit of information, right?
So the East Brunswick Community Players got our first home, which was Playhouse 22, hence 22 years after its founding.
So, there's the name.
Yeah, there's the name. So we stayed there from 1980, 81, ups and downs, through 2005, when the township approached us about moving into a new state-of-the-art community arts center that was being built at Heavenly Farms. And it took us maybe about 30 seconds to say yes, because...
I can't imagine it took you much longer than that.
It was, the place was nice, and it was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into that place, and people like Elliot and Joe and Dolly and the whole gang did a lot of work to get that place going. So it was sentimental for a lot of the original founders. But it was also, it had a great heating system during the summer and a great air conditioning during the winter. Things were failing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it really, we needed to grow. As a group, we needed to grow. So the opportunity to move into the Community Arts Center, which was supposed to have been about a year break, and being 4 years, was there. So we moved here in September 2009 and have grown.
Oh, it took 4 years for you to get from start to finish into the building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we've loved it here. We've grown, we've brought in new ideas, new talents. Our shows have gotten just significantly bigger and better every single season.
So now here you had 154 there.
Yep.
What is the max seating here for you guys?
200 seats.
So you've increased 50 seats, which is really valuable. As somebody who has children in the theater program during the summer, there are many, many people who want to come and see their kids, and that helps to, alleviate some of that problem, which is great.
Yes, I know all about that. But what's really nice about when the building was being designed, it originally was 500 seats, but we didn't want something so big.
Right, because it's community theater, right?
Yes, and we also worried about selling out 500 seats would have been a challenge.
Okay, that's a very good point, actually.
And at that point, the rights for shows at 200 seats, was actually 199, was much cheaper than 500. So we kind of looked at a financial model.
Interesting. So it differs? The amount that you pay for the rights of shows differs with how many people you are playing to?
Yeah, because it's how many tickets you can sell, how much money, revenue you can bring in. Hence how much the rights company.
That's a very interesting thing. Yeah. Wow. So how did you, now tell us how you got involved with this. How did this become your second home? Because we all know this is a totally volunteer position. Everybody that works here, everybody that performs here, they do this out of the goodness of their heart, from a passion, a real place of passion. So where did your passion start?
Passion, that's a good way of describing it. There are some days I'm not sure if it's passion or another P word that I can think of. But I fell into theater by accident in 1990.
An accidental player.
Yeah, I was at the high school for whatever reason. I might have been soccer camp, I don't remember. And walked into the auditorium because it was nice and cool. And the kids seemed cooler. And there's a guy on stage running some kind of theater program I wasn't too interested in, and I was being pretty loud and obnoxious about something. And he said, get on stage, show me what you can do. And he pulled me on stage. I'm kind of standing there going, okay, don't be a teenager. And that was Elliot Taubenslag, who ran the summer theater program, the founder of the incredibly heralded summer theater program. And he said, here, have some lines. And that was Little Mermaid.
He is a hero in these parts.
Yes.
I know.
And he got me into theater. And next spring, Playhouse 22 was having auditions for a musical, How I Survived High School, which was directed by Michael, his son.
Okay.
And Elliot wrote it with Glenn Slater, who went on to bigger and better things.
He certainly did.
And
another EB alumni.
Yep, another class of 88.
He was with my sister, 86.
All right.
86, I believe.
Yeah. His brother
86.
graduated.
Right.
His brother was my class.
Yes,
Bound all the way up, yeah. And so they were looking for high school age kids. And so I went to auditions and I said, I can't sing, I can't dance, I can't act, I just want to get involved. I'll do anything from cleaning the bathrooms to...
Wow.
And they said, okay, we're going to give you, it's a large ensemble, we'll give you a line. Okay. Put me in the back of the stage and I did the show and haven't left. And that was May of 1991. And
So how long did you perform in the front?
If you call what I did performing, I did bits and pieces shows. Ultimately, I eventually drifted into stage crew.
Okay.
And I found out recently one of the shows I served on stage crew was Fiorello, which had a young Jesse Eisenberg in it.
Yes.
Another East Brunswick.
I know, isn't it? Is there something in the water here, right?
I hope so.
I mean, I really believe there is. There are people that say there's something in the water here that creates some pretty spectacular people, right?
Yep.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I just stayed on stage crew. And over stage crew, I started stage managing. And over time, I started associate producing and producing shows. And just stuck with it and became the executive producer 15 years ago. Did that role for 13 years. And in a time of incredible growth, financially, artistically.
Wow.
And
that you were an enormous part of.
It was a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't.
Who is your team? Who's your team? Share with us who your team is.
We have so many great people on stage, backstage, administrative that does stuff.
Okay,
I mean, we have a treasurer who keeps our books real tight, and I'm the cheapest person on the board. So
again, all volunteer. These are all volunteer.
Yeah. I mean, from our artistic talent, directors, the team who does our tech work, who paints our sets, designs our sets. I mean, our main set builder has been my best friend since high school. Wow. So we have a team here, and it's not just one person, and it's not the people on stage.
Right.
It's the people who...
Well, very often you're only as great in a show as the people who are running everything backstage, right? Because, so that's really important.
And I have some goofy sayings. One of them is, it takes a team. We all fail together or we all succeed together. And so if we all try to succeed together, it'll all work.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That's such a great thing. Yeah. So you come together and you create this unbelievable space for the community. And it has had such an enormous impact, I know, on so many children throughout the years. It's been unbelievable. How do you think theater touches lives beyond just the stage? Like, what have you seen, aside from these amazing people that have gone beyond?
Yeah. I mean, theater, from being, at least from a guest perspective, is we try to educate, entertain, and inspire people. And when you talk about younger people, theater, there's the dichotomy between arts and athletics. I mean, there's sports players and stuff, but that's all one thing. They're all team. And in arts, as we just said, it takes a team to build a show. And it gives younger people the confidence to get out of their shell. And you can fail. Right. We're still there for you. Right. Don't worry about failing because you took that try. You took that shot.
I find, I have to tell you, even as a parent and as an educator, I find the theater world a very inclusive and safe space for youngsters. I really do. So thank you for being part of that, honestly.
Thank you.
Because it's an enormously safe space. I know for my own kids it is.
We try to create that environment across the board. Check your ego at the door. It's a safe space. There's a lot of people have challenges outside of here. So my hope is when a performer comes here to perform, or an artist tries to do something here, or a guest comes here, they can escape the wall, outside the walls here, and just have a night out without the stress of what's going on.
Right.
And sometimes it's a challenge, but sometimes you look, when you hear a big loud round of applause or that laughter, or you see people coming out after the show and you can see they're emotional by something that somebody on stage touched them.
Right.
And it's often people forget that. It's like you're connecting with people.
Well, how do you, I want to add, how do you, in the age of streaming and Netflix and Amazon Prime Video and all of these things, how has that affected the theater world first? That's my first question.
I don't see any real impact.
Oh, well, that's wonderful
Partially
to
it's
hear.
because I think if you look back at the history of theater, I mean, theater has shined every form of entertainment throughout millennia. And radio, so radio's going to kill
the radio
radios.
killed,
And I'm reading
radio
a book
killed
with
the
Tom
radio
Star.
star, right,
Yeah. That's a whole other thing. But you look at the evolution of entertainment. We went from radio to film to movies, television, now the internet, now streaming. What's the still thing there? You still go to New York. You still see a busy Broadway. I mean, Broadway. Yeah, they have ups and downs.
Right, like every other industry, right? I mean, that's okay.
But we still, time after time, people will come to see shows. Because there's something magical about live theater.
There is.
And you can't stream.
The lights dim and the music comes on,
Yeah, you can't stream
it's magical.
it. And we have live orchestras here. A lot
Right,
of other
I
community
know.
theaters have moved to canned music. We refuse to do that.
Why?
A couple of reasons. One, nothing beats a live or not live music. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's just a guy plunking away on the piano or the sound of the orchestra. I mean, I'm part of the symphony. I mean, hearing a live symphony orchestra just...
It is magical.
You feel it.
Literally, through your bones and through your skin, and then out the hairs on your arms standing up. Without a doubt, it's a visceral reaction. Yes.
When the symphony had their first rehearsal here a couple years ago, and they were in the community room over here, and the second I heard the first measure from Jurassic Park,
wow.
I was on the other side of the building. I could hear, ran down the hallway, and I was like a little kid. John Williams. And there's something magical about live theater that you can't duplicate by looking at a flat screen.
No, you're absolutely right.
You feel it, you sense it. You can't describe it, but you know what it feels like. And I always try to be like, I always call myself a poor man's disciple to Walt Disney. And what he's done with the Disney parks.
Okay.
The experience. You don't go to a Disney park just to go on rides. It's the music. It's the smell of the cotton candy or the Dole Whip when you're walking through. It's the sense of, this is an experience.
Yeah.
That's
it's kinesthetic. It's all around. Yes. It's.
Yeah.
So how do you pick your shows? How do you? How do you go through? How do you listen to the kids or the people or the performers, but balance that having to please everybody and nobody all at once?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our process is an ongoing process. We used to have it where it was structured 6 weeks. We have a board. We have a committee that was created.
Okay.
Vet through plays, but it's become more organic.
Okay.
It's kind of like we look at shows, we look at a season in totality. What type of shows? We want to do something that's a challenging musical. We want to do something that's a comedy. We look at
So you balance the different genres ahead of time so that you make sure that there's a really nice variety of shows that are... And how many shows, I don't mean to interrupt you, but how many shows are performed a year?
We do 4 main stage shows, which run for 3 weekends each.
Okay.
And then what we do is we recently take the stage, close the curtain, and create it as a black box space. And now if you're in a black box space, I'll explain to the rest of the audience.
Yes,
because
what
that's
is black box? Yes.
It is a very intimate space. It's almost a blank stage.
Okay.
There's minimal sets, minimal costumes, more focused on
the people,
emotional pieces. And because of the size of the stage, we can close the curtain, bring the audience in through the back hallway, and put 40 to 50 seats on stage and create a black box space on stage.
So how many of those shows do you do?
We do 3 of those a season.
Okay.
And then we do some kind of holiday show. So this year we're doing a puppet version of Christmas Carol.
Wow.
Which I can't wait to see myself, I'll tell you that. It's an original playwright who lives up in New England, and he's friends of friends, so he's working with us to grow his piece. So,
wow.
So it's going to be a little bit of an experiment.
Yes, absolutely. Though sometimes the most magic happens when you're not sure what's going to happen, right?
Every single day I can say that here. But the black box
I say that every day in the classroom, by the way, so do I.
But the black box shows really give us an opportunity to do those shows you can't do on a main stage. We do shows with a cast of 2.
I was just going to say, how many are in a show like that?
They range from as small as 2 to as big as about 7 or 8.
And no set, it's just...
Minimal set.
Okay.
A desk here, a wall here. We did the show Wit in the spring, which is about a woman with terminal cancer. So we rented a whole bunch of authentic medical equipment, the gurney and stuff. And she was such a talented performer. performance. She actually shaved her head for the show.
Wow.
And
she went all in, huh?
Yeah, all in. And we went
Wow.
all in with the set, too, to give that authentic experience.
Oh my goodness, it must have been absolutely moving.
Yeah, and at the end, you could hear a pin drop. And you hear
I
sniffles and everything else. We actually
I
had
might
tissues.
hear on my head.
But we do shows like that because we talk about educating. It gave people that perspective. And it wasn't an entertaining show like The Producers or Something Rotten, that type of fun, goofy show. But people came out of it thinking. And then we did another show about a dichotomy.
Wow. What was your audience like? What was the demographic of your audience for a show like that? I'm interested
We tend to be older audiences just because older audiences, first of all, have more time. They have more disposable income.
That's a very good point.
It's just naturally, theaters have a little older audiences.
Okay.
So when we do shows that are a little bit more challenging, we have to understand that some of our audiences may not be comfortable with the content.
Got it.
I mean, I've been around the theater a long time. I've seen older audiences obviously evolve. And we did a show a couple years ago, and there was a lot of F-bombs and a lot of words that were very uncomfortable.
Do you have to disclaimer it ahead of time?
We put
for
mature
the audience?
audiences, but we don't censor the shows.
Right, well, that's good.
For a couple of reasons. One, it's not legal. And second of all, a playwright did this piece for a reason. His or her words matter.
And every part of it is
so
a part
we have
of
to
it
honor that code that is between a playwright and a production.
Absolutely, yes.
So we're doing the show, a lot of inappropriate words and everything else. And after the show, there was an older audience here, and I knew a couple of them. I said, "What do you think of the audience, the show? Were you uncomfortable by some words?" And one woman goes, "No, why would I be uncomfortable by that?" I was like, "Well, a lot of curse words and stuff." She goes, "I grew up with George Carlin records." I'm like,
"It's true, right?"
Yeah.
That is true. I mean, there were some pretty raunchy, comedians and actors back then as well. So I guess if you're into it, and I feel as though sometimes when you do things like it's part of the whole, you almost separate it, right? Because it's part of the whole entire package that you're, the F-bombs and the things that are being thrown are not as, like, shocking if it's part of the entire package that's being delivered to you.
And if it's being used as part of a character.
Right.
I mean, the guy, the specific show, the character is an old former hippie.
Okay.
Despondent, older, he's kind of burned out from the world. So that's appropriate. But when it's a show like School of Rock and there's a 12-year-old kid using it, it's uncomfortable.
Know your audience, right? Know your audience.
Yeah, but know the character that is being created on stage.
So have you ever gotten complaints about the roundup of shows that
not too many.
And how do you handle that? You can't please everybody, and if you continue to listen to the echo chambers of, opinions, it's got to be, especially for so many years that you've been doing it.
I mean, you keep it in the back of your mind, but at the same time, people who go to see movies or see TV shows, especially if they come to see a show, they should have an open mind. And you have to look at the bigger world. You can't be in your own bubble. And there are things that are uncomfortable. There are things that are being said, but you also, that's that one perspective.
Right.
You may not always agree with some of the things, but you have to understand this is a piece of art.
Right.
And you may not like it, but you have to respect the art.
The process,
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I like going to MoMA, and there's some things that are art.
Right.
You're like,
is it really?
Is it really art? But then you walk around and there's Whistler's Mother on the one. And that's a really nice piece of art. And you're like, okay, but it's not like I don't have a disrespect for it.
Right, exactly. You appreciate it for the fact that it's art.
Yeah.
It's not your type, but it's right, exactly. I can understand that, absolutely.
I would say if you gauged the responses, it's always probably 95.5, very supportive.
That's great. That's really great. Wow.
You can't let the people that are upset bring it down, because then you get your back of your mind that you're not trying to do your best. And people come back. Sometimes people get offended. Not everybody likes our shows, but it's affordable, accessible entertainment. Right.
And how do you feel the community receives you, East Brunswick? Do you find an abundance of support? Do they come and have, I know you guys are, what's here other times? Is it
this building's always busy.
Okay.
You may not always see it, especially at nights. But we at the Playhouse are part of the Arts Coalition, which is almost, there's the coalition that does a lot of fundraising for arts programs and expanding the Arts Center, and they do their own programs and stuff. But there's like informal arts communication between the Arts Commission, Arts Coalition, the Symphony, us. We're always talking to each other about how to share resources.
Right.
And we at the Playhouse provide services that other groups don't have. Like the Symphony, when they do events here, they need to use a box office system. Use our system.
Right.
And we just cut the check after our fees. And
that's great.
Stuff like that. And informal support.
Yeah, that's really
support.
fabulous. That's amazing. It's so great to know that East Brunswick, different divisions of East Brunswick work together to be one happy family. That's really nice.
We're all volunteers.
I know.
We all come in with that perspective. And Kim, who runs the Arts Coalition, graduated high school with me. So the two of each other we didn't know each other in high school very well, but now we've known each other pretty well through the art stuff.
That's really nice. Great. That's great to hear. So how do you fund your plays? Tell everybody where your funding comes from. Is it something that you are having difficulty? Do you find difficulty getting funding, or?
Vast majority are ticket sales.
Okay.
Vast majority.
Okay, and that sustains you?
Yes.
That sustains the shows. That's great to hear.
$2 of every ticket that is sold goes to the township.
Okay.
So if you're buying a $22 ticket, 20 goes to us, 2 goes to the township to maintain this place.
That's great too.
So I would say we're an arts group that doesn't get money from government.
Wow.
We give money to government. I mean, there is a county grant process that we now use to pay for our black box shows.
Okay.
But that's only supporting about half the expenses.
Right.
And that's part of the grant. We do get some outside grant money. We get one that we can't talk about.
And that's okay.
But vast majority comes from low donor. We get probably $200 or $300 a month from donors who just go online and give us $5 here, $5 there, which every penny counts. But ticket sales.
Wow, that's
ticket sales, and we just run a tight organization here.
That's fantastic.
And
fantastic.
You can see the mess that we have in our scene shop. We recycle every single piece of wood 10 times over.
So what do you think, if you had to say, was the most difficult obstacle that you've experienced in your tenure here? Growing it, whether it's, when you moved here, or whatever it may have been.
That 4-year gap, a lot of uncertainty on when, and there was a lot of within the theme, if we're ever going to move in here. Because there's a lot of, half the building's finished. Now there's not enough money for curtains. There's not that, and not knowing those first years, how we're going to operate in a new place with different rules, not as much autonomy that we used to have. Those first years of moving here from like 2009 to about 2012, 13 was a real challenge.
Trying times.
And then when things started gelling and things started working and new people started coming in, we got a whole new generation of people coming in just naturally.
That's so nice. And also you were in a little bit of a different location that got probably, I would say, a little more exposure, right? I mean, for where it is.
Dunham's versus Cranberry, County Highway.
And also where you guys were, it was a little bit tucked in. You sort of didn't know what was there.
Even still trying to explain to people where we are. I mean, look for the airport hangar out in the middle of the field. I mean, when you first moved in here, it was just a building with a couple trees. Now it's grown in, and the township does a beautiful job maintaining it.
And so many things happen here, quite frankly, on the grounds. It's beautiful. So people, all you have to say is go, go where the EB day is, or go where, and you know exactly where to go. It's such a known space now. With
the township using the community room for everything from early voting to the mayor has township events here to
I came to a PTA forum, question and answer forum last year here. Yes, in the room. So yes, I've been here a few non-theater related times.
And I mean, the Boy Scouts have stuff here regularly. I mean, they have the arts groups do, again, EB Day is here. So it's becoming something, but still telling people that there's a theater in town. I mean, I recently was talking to a woman who's been in town 50 years. She lives on Dunham's Corner Road. Never heard of us.
Wow.
She also never heard of Route 18 either, which kind of made me a little scared too.
That is a little interesting. That's interesting.
That's a joke.
Okay.
But
puts things into perspective.
I'm like, I'm joking about Route 18.
I know, but I get it. I get it. I just, where do you see Playhouse 22 going from here? I mean,
growing, keep moving forward.
What if you outgrow this place? You guys are just, I mean, you're so phenomenal.
Thank you.
That, and sought out. And I mean, I know that the next generation kids like theater is a big thing.
I want them to come here.
Yes.
I want them to spend, I mean, I came here as a high school student.
Right.
I'm now a little less than a year shy of 50. So I'm not the oldest person around here. I'm not the most experienced person around here. There's people who've been on this board from the 80s, and they're still here. And I would love to see people like your children and other high school students to turn and to come here and volunteer.
Well, that's exactly what I was just going to say. So my daughter came home with her community service papers the other day, and I said to her, I literally said to her, I'm interviewing Adam, and would you volunteer behind the scenes for set decoration or any set, you know, putting it together? And so do you accept volunteer hours and students who would come and volunteer their time?
10 times over,
Okay, and how can they get in touch with you? How can that happen? Do you reach out to the guidance counselors? Do you?
We've tried to reach out to the high school a couple times.
Okay.
Every try we try, something doesn't connect there.
Okay.
Truth be told, we have a lot of high school students from Piscataway here.
Interesting.
Because one of our repertory members who directs here is a high school teacher up there. And he has that connection in South Brunswick and Spotswood and even South River we're starting to get some students from. But East Brunswick.
But not as many in East Brunswick, which is very sad actually. That makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Like my heart just hurt a little bit.
I think part of it is East Brunswick students tend to do a lot more.
They're busy.
They're busier. They're busier students. They have the youth council. They have National Honor Society. They have all this other stuff that's going on, except for what they should be focused on.
Right.
Yeah.
So East Brunswick students, because of all of their excessive after-school activities, are not who usually come through the door for volunteers services. So how can we change that? Tell me how we can help you to get that out there so that the children who live in this community can be the next generation of Adams. Honestly, I
would recommend other people besides Adams.
I don't think so. I mean, I'm listening to you, and this place is pretty amazing. And you're a very big part of that and have been for a long time. So let's help you.
I think the best thing is for them to understand that there's an opportunity here if they're looking for community service hours.
Okay.
And they're all in the drama club or just interested in art that may not be involved with the drama club, that we're here.
Okay.
And simply just show up, find us on social media, and reach out to us.
Great.
And it's not just being on stage too.
Right.
And I think that the first thing is, it's only where the adults go on stage.
Right.
And we did a School of Rock last year that had a whole bunch of high school students from different high schools, but there were some East Brunswick kids there. And knowing that there's so many different ways to get involved. As we were saying earlier, I was on stage a little bit in high school, but it really was stage crew. That really kept me involved.
And if you're a hands-on person, it's a great opportunity to work with your hands to build.
And learn from, especially if you want to go into theater arts. We have very talented people with a lot of experience here that are willing to show them every single thing.
Right.
And don't be afraid to ask. Just show up one day. Say, I want to help out. And any volunteer organization, when you ask, 9 out of 10 times the answer is yes.
Right. Well, Adam, I can't thank you enough for inviting us into your space, this beautiful space that has brought only joy to everybody in our town who's been smart enough to come down and check you guys out at least once or twice. And if they haven't, they really should. And I look forward to the next shows and watching Playhouse 22 grow even more than it is. Thank you so much for having us. Is there anything you want to leave our viewers with?
No, thank you. Just want a night out? We're right up the street.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.